Hey everybody, channel's called Driving Home. I'm Lamont and welcome to another one of my videos. So it's probably been a little over 2 months since I uploaded a video, and I believe the last video I uploaded was the tour video of the inside living space of my rig. So after that video uploaded, I recorded a couple of other videos that I needed to edit and try to upload as well, but while on vacation I was sitting around the campfire, and I mean we had campfires every night, so I love that part. I love the campfires. But I was sitting there and started falling asleep, started nodding off, the head bob, you do then you look up and see if anybody noticed, and I thought, okay, I got away with it. Then the second time I did it, I realized, man, I'm so tired. Let me get up and go to bed before I fall asleep and embarrass myself. So when I stood up, somewhere in there my phone must have been laying on my leg or on my lap or something, and I forgot about it. Stood up and the phone just landed face flat on the ground. At that point, the screen was damaged to the point where you can't see anything on it. The phone still turned on and turned off, but without being able to see anything on it, I was pretty much dead in the water in terms of being able to use or upload those videos, edit them, or anything else. I basically just came up with some internet access to tide me over. That way I could pay bills and things like that. And then I just ordered a phone online and was able to have it shipped back to the hometown. And once I got back from vacation, I was able to pick that up and go through the process of getting it all turned on and figuring out and remembering passwords that I haven't used in a long time. And after somewhere in there, I checked in for work a day or two later, and they were telling me how slow it was. So I thought, well, that worked out pretty good, I guess, for me, since I was on vacation for the last month or so. And they said, yeah, we'll try and find you something. And I thought, well, that's great, because I can go ahead and get a few things done, before I really get back into working full swing. Well, that didn't work out, because I think before I even made it back to my truck, they had sent me a message saying they found a load for me going to Iowa. And once I took off, I had been running pretty hard ever since. Yeah, I still get that occasional day off and things like that, just about once a week. But then I'm inundated with chores, like you, like everyone. And next thing you know, you're just back out here on the road again. So I thought, I tried to avoid doing the sort of talking head videos. I always try to do a video where I'm showing you something. And so in that spirit, I kept postponing doing a video. I was like, I'll get right back around to re-recording any one of the two videos I'd recorded, or I'll come up with something else to record and just upload that. And then, man, the domino effect. You think you'll do it, and then you don't. Then you think you'll make a video explaining why you haven't made a video like this video, and then you don't do that either. Next thing you know, 2 months clicks off the calendar in no time. But here I am sitting in my work truck, and I just thought I gotta put something up there to let you guys know what's been going on. At the very least, I owe you that, because I appreciate you guys sticking it out, hanging in there with me, and I got a feeling, there'll be more content coming. Well, it's not more; it's more than a feeling. I'm making some changes to the rig. I think what I realized on my vacation was that I got the rig, the way I got it set up, it's a little too cramped. I got it stuffed with stuff in the garage area, and I'm not really able to utilize it the way I planned on utilizing it, because of all the stuff I have to carry with me when I'm camping. It's really hard to get in and out of the back doors. The only way I would be able to do that is I'd have to maybe set up a tent or something, and then load all that stuff in the tent outside the rig, so that I can camp and utilize the rig the way I intended. Now, that wouldn't be too big of a deal. I just don't want to do it. I'd rather be able to keep everything in the rig and keep the rig ready to go at a moment's notice, in the event that I have to go in a moment's notice. So with that in mind, my plan is to upgrade to a bigger rig. And so once I kind of get the details worked out on that, I will certainly, update the channel, and there may be more content being able to be derived from the upgrade, or I call it an upgrade. I don't necessarily know if that's the right word, but making changes. Anyway, I hope all of you guys are doing okay. I know with the current state of affairs with the virus, a lot of people are involuntarily off work, and everyone's having to shelter in place and things like that. So I know how challenging that could be. I will say on that note, one of the things that I tried to do in setting up my rig is model my box truck the way I've set up the living space in this truck, my work truck. And I've always had this attitude that in the event that I was somewhere and I could not get out of this truck for, I always kind of used a week. Could I do it? Could I manage that? And I thought, well, as long as I have a week's worth of water, a week's worth of food, everyone's familiar with the bucket toilet, so we got that situation handled. And I, have a way of showering. For a week, you could do what they call a Navy shower, a military shower. You could wash up. If you had to just get by for a week, you could just wash up. But I actually wanted a shower, because what if a week turned into 2 weeks? At one point when I was in my sticks and bricks, I became very interested in the preppers and their lifestyle. Couldn't say that I was going to become a prepper, but I just thought it was interesting. And there were certain aspects of the prepping lifestyle that I actually thought was useful. But getting back to this truck and my box truck, so I actually set up my box truck very similar to the way I set up this truck, that I could sustain myself for a week. Now, one of the differences though is the shower in the box truck. Though I didn't mention it, I do have a way to shower in the box truck. It's something I have to set up, and it's very inconvenient to do it, but it can be done. I have a way of heating the water. As a matter of fact, I have the same method of heating the water in this truck. Let me show you. Excuse me. So I have this thing called a bucket heater, and it might be backwards on the screen. Let's see here, bucket heater. But you can see a picture of it, and it's this somewhat long device that they use to keep the buckets for livestock warm in the winter. You can just plug this thing in, stick it in a bucket, and it actually gets really hot. So the only way I can imagine, this would work under those circumstances is it pretty much has to be freezing outside to probably keep the water drinkable, because if this thing's just plugged in, or if it's not on some sort of thermostat where it can turn the device on and off, depending on the temperature of the water, that water will get really hot. So it takes about 20, maybe 30 minutes plugged into the inverter. And this truck is equipped with a 1500 watt inverter. My box truck, I have a 3000 watt inverter, and it works well in both rigs. Fill up a 5-gallon bucket of water, plug it in, and 30 minutes later I'm ready to take a shower. I just have a tub, set it on the ground. I have a shower curtain on a hula hoop, and it's all downhill from there. And it's a very comfortable shower. As a matter of fact, the more I did it, the better and more efficient I got at it. And now I barely use maybe half the water in the bucket to take a very, very comfortable shower. So that was my mindset in setting up my rig. And so I'm finding out by watching some other YouTubers that they're realizing with the limited space that they have, they're limited on how much food and supplies they can carry. I'm limited as well, but I'm a little fortunate in that I do have room. If I had to stock up, I just sort of have to pile it up in that garage area. push come to shove, I can also take a few things that absolutely are not necessary to my survival out of the rig, store those, and then I can put even more supplies, canned goods, dry goods, paper goods, in the garage area, and I can genuinely be off the grid for a couple of weeks at a time. And even then, the only thing I would have to maybe come back to a city or somewhere to refill on would be maybe water. Yeah, pretty much water. And maybe to do laundry, although at the moment I carry way too much in the way of clothing as it is. But I appreciate that I have it set up that way now. Hindsight being what it is, I'm appreciative of it. And here's the funny part about it is, yeah, I want even more room. I got some ideas where I would like a more permanent shower. The toilet situation I'm fine with, but and that requires a quick setup, but it only takes a couple of minutes to set that up, if that. But the shower, I have to come up with a more efficient way to take a shower, and that'll be something I'll be working on my next build out. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much gets us all caught up. So until I can get around to making another video and we'll further discuss the plans and what's coming down the road, I appreciate you guys all hanging in there and hanging in there with the channel. So and all the new subscribers. I actually picked up a couple of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. So thank you all for signing up. We'll see you in the next video.